Mr. and Mrs. Hamby, this is your first of your weekly videos. I don't know if I'll be able to walk inside the house. Doesn't look like they're done with the roof, so they're going to have a whole bunch of 2x4s supporting the walls until they get the trusses done. But at the very least, I can walk around the outside of the home and explain a lot of the materials that we use that you can see, like the materials we use on the trusses, the materials we use on the outside, all that fun stuff. As we walk up, you can see here, this is the front of the home. You've got your two windows here for your garage here located on this side. I've got them working on the information for the detached garage, which would be in the back area over here. Like I said, they may have to shift it a little more to the right, depending on the location and everything else as far as how that goes. They're going to have to draw that up on our CAD department. And then once they get it out to the superintendent, he'll know whether he can place it in certain locations. These trees busheled right here, it's a little hard to see with the sun, may require us to push it a little bit more to the right. If that's the case, you're going to have the option to slide the entrance into the garage a little more to the left, and rather than being centered in the front of the garage for the detached. They don't have the openings for the garage here, but you can see these metal strips up here are where the sides are going to stop, and they're going to pull these 2x4s out once they get all the trusses done, and you'll have wall here on those two and then opening all the way to the edge down there. Let me walk around the front and I'll go over some of the stuff on the front of the home here. For instance, like this material you're looking at here, this is a material called oriented strand board. I'm going to walk up to the big stack they have over here and give you a better idea what it looks like. This is going to be the shell, the first real line of defense on the outside for your home. And this material looks a lot like pressed wood, but it's not. This is an engineered material, and they use a specific type of glue to hold it in place. It's a lot better than plywood, which is still better than plywood, still better than pressed wood, but this is even better than plywood. The reason this is better than plywood is thin veneered pieces of wood. You know, like when you buy a really cheap furniture, you got a really thin piece of almost fake looking wood, then you get the pressed wood underneath it. Well, plywood's made out of that top piece, the bunch of those top pieces glued together. The problem is you can get air gaps in between the plywood, which would be areas of weakness in the plywood, number one. But number two, in the heat and humidity, those plywood pieces can actually, the veneers can separate, which is the big downside to this stuff compared to this oriented strand board. Plywood can't be soaked in water. If it does, it starts to come apart in the veneers. This stuff can be soaked into water for up to a week and still be together. That's the advantage of this material. It's a great product, and we're one of the first ones in the area to start using it. And that's why we use it, because it's such a great product. Everybody in the area does now use it because of that. Another thing I can talk to you guys about, you can see here, is the foundation. And we use a specific type of foundation called a monolithic foundation. You can see it's one solid piece. Sorry, I'm slipping as I walk over here. One solid piece all the way around. Some builders use different ones. We're one of the few in the area that uses the monolithic foundation. As a matter of fact, when Mr. Henry started the company, almost 30 years ago, December will be 30 years, he had to teach residential contractors how to build certain things that he does. One of them is a monolithic foundation. It's the type of foundation you're going to see if you walk into a Walmart building or a Lowe's or anything with a big building like that. Commercial grade buildings all have these kind of foundations. It's not normal to residential, but we do it because it's a better foundation. Most of the time you'll see what's called a stem wall foundation, where they lay cinder blocks around the home and the foundation. They'll come in, they'll pour concrete a couple different times to make the foundation. The problem with that is there's more potential for air pockets and for weakness in the foundation and cause cracks and everything else. So we don't do that. It's a lot easier to do a stem wall foundation than it is a monolithic. It's a lot more complicated. That's what we have added in steps. We have, of course, the superintendent who supervises your home comes out and supervises them pouring the foundation. On top of that, we have a quality control manager. I can't even remember what his title is, but I know he's a quality control manager, probably the best way to put it. He comes out and verifies every step on the home. There are what we call 10 stages in the construction process of your home. He comes out and verifies that everything's done and correctly done in each stage before it can go to the next one. Each stage consists of about a week. Yours may take a little bit longer because of how large the home is in size. But generally, the superintendents are given 10 stages. They have to move one stage a week. This one may go, like I said, a little bit longer. You may actually end up going 11 or 12 weeks just because of the massive size of the home. It's going to take a little bit longer to get some of the little things taken care of and make sure they're done right. but that's the type of foundation that we use. And you can see when I walk through the house, or I show you a video through the house, there's no seams in this concrete. All one solid piece all the way throughout the house. Like I said, it's going to be hard for me to walk through, so the next video I'll be able to walk through and show you more of the home. But I can still go over certain things with you. This is going to be your front porch area here. It's a little hard to show you an idea of size. I'm about 6 feet tall, and I guarantee you I could lay down and still have more room on this front porch. So it's a nice big porch that'll be covered once they get the roof lines and everything else in. They do have looks like all your trusses for all your weight and everything here, and we use what's called engineered trusses. Let me zoom in so you can see. It's going to take a little bit for the camera to zoom in. And the reason we do engineered trusses is because there's no wasted material. They come straight from the manufacturer, straight from the wood supplier, stamped in location, and their measurements are 1/16 of an inch precise, which is a lot more than if somebody were to get out here with a hammer and a saw and a drill and start building you your trusses. It's a lot stronger. There's less wasted materials, so we don't have to throw anything away. So we save money by going with the engineered trusses. We get to pass that on to you. And the same thing goes with the monolithic foundation. Not only is it a better product in the long run, it may be harder to do it, but the advantage is it saves money over the stem wall because you're not using as many materials when it comes to the cinder blocks wrapped around the home and everything else. So those are two big cost-saving things that we do to save prices on homes. Now, another big thing that we use product-wise, when I talked about this OSB or oriented strand board on the outside walls, another big thing that we do that a lot of other builders don't do is we use #1 grade or better, which is the best kind of wood you can use for your top truss piece. And we use southern yellow pine on the top. Southern yellow pine is a great strong wood for trusses because it's a strong wood. Now, the downside to southern yellow pine is it can warp, which does not affect the strength or affect the roof line or anything along those lines, but you don't want to use it in the home. So you can tell that they look a little bit different in color from those to these. On your walls, we use what's called a spruce pine. The reason we do that is because spruce pine does not warp. If you were to use southern yellow pine in your walls and it were to warp, you'd have bows in your wall where your drywall is all the way down. You'd look down and see big bows in the wall. We don't want that. That's why we use a spruce pine. Not quite as strong as a southern yellow pine, but it's great for studs and it doesn't warp. So being in business for 30 years is a lot of things that Mr. Henry has learned to do. And a lot of reasons we do specific things that we have because he's learned things over 30 years. A lot of the builders in the area don't know. When we come back in the next video that I have for you guys, I'm going to walk around the outside and show you the lot as well. But when I come back to the next video, I'm going to be able to walk through the house and show you a lot more in the home. It just kind of restricts my limits of movements with all these boards laying through the house. Okay. As we walk around, this is going to be your front of the home, as you can see here. You'll be completely blocked off from the street, so you won't have to worry about a whole bunch of street noise and everything coming down, and the only entrance you'll have will be over there on the right, where you come into the garage and the detached garage located in the back. I'm going to swing around to the right here so you can see the right of the home, which they don't have. No, it looks like they do have this side done, so they've got a lot of the oriented strand board on the side of the home done and complete. We're just going to work our way to the back. I know the back isn't done because I can see that from the front. These are your window locations here. This looks like a bathroom window, another side window here. Now, on top of that, in the next video, you're going to see a white wrap around the home. That is called a dow wrap. That is the moisture barrier wrap that goes between the brick and the home, so that if there is any water or condensation or humidity buildup, oh no, the back is done. All that would actually stay on the outside of that wrap and not get to the inside of the home. So I'll go over some of that when that comes as well. There's a 4-way seal we use on the windows that not many other builders do. I haven't seen another one that does it in this area, because we do 4 different steps to make sure you don't have any leakage of any water leaks in your windows. This is going to be your back entrance here onto the porch. You've got some windows here. You got a bathroom window up there, another window here and here. And here, and you'll have the overledge like this, as you can see here. So you've got another window here. This is a double window, and then this is your exterior door in the garage. You can see, I can show you some of the garage here. Like I said, they're not quite done with the framing, so I can't quite go inside and show you everything. It's not quite stable, and if I bump into something, my chances are, with my luck, it'd fall on me and kill me, and then you guys would never get your video. Okay, this is your front view here from the side. You can see you've got a neighbor across the street. And this is your back view here of your backyard. And this is the part they've cleared of the lot. I have to move all those trees and all out still. And then this is your felt paper that's going to go on the roof. underneath your shingles on top of the oriented strand board. So you'll have oriented strand board all the way around the house, on the roof, on the sides, and then you'll have the felt paper and the shingles on top of the felt paper. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to call or email me anytime. Sorry, I usually take longer videos than this, but considering the home isn't quite done with framing yet, it does limit me getting in and going over some other different things, but I'll go over a lot of those in the next few videos. Like I said, you guys, it might take a week or two longer than we normally do on homes, but you'll still be done in the time frame you were expecting. But if you have any questions, like I said, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.